This right here is the closest thing we can really get right now to a Steam machine that you can just get and buy it and set it on your desk, install Steam, and use it. I'm not building a Steam machine. This is an Adam Man from Minis Forum. It does have a slightly more powerful CPU. It's 7945HX. Will make a big difference in gaming, to be honest, realistically, especially at a 4K TV type thing. The GPU is going to be very, very close. This has a 7600M XT. The Steam machine is going to basically have a 7600M, but non-XT. I have installed Steam OS, which was just very easy. I just installed it. It just worked right out of the box. Now, I'm not telling you need to buy this product. What I am telling you in this video is people were very curious in my previous video where I did Forza Horizon 6 testing, and they were like, oh, so that is roughly what we're going to get out of a Steam machine. So I've had a lot of people ask me to test more games. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's just get a pretty close idea of what we're going to get with Steam machine. It's not going to be exact. And I know some people, there was a few people, not very many, but there's a couple people in the previous video who were like, I clicked the thumbnail and it wasn't a Steam machine. Well, no shit. No one has a Steam machine. It's not out yet. But this is giving us the closest approximation of what we can get when the Steam machine, I guess, is going to be launched in a month or two. So let's see what we can get out of this thing. We'll jump in. We'll just do a bunch of games. Oh, for size context, it's basically the same height as a Series S. I don't know if that's by design, but it has a little stand. When you take the stand out, it basically is a Series S. It's almost identical. Okay, so we'll start with the 007 game. We will do 4K testing. I mean, 4K is always going to be a stretch on this level of GPU with 8 gigabytes of VRAM and just this level of performance. However, that's what TVs are. And Steam is positioning this thing to plop under a TV. We're actually going to go desktop mode. It might very slightly impact the performance. But it does allow me to get the specs up better on the screen there. And it does enable me to have a little bit better control over resolutions and that kind of stuff. So we're just going to go with this here. And you can see there with just balance scaling 4K. We are on low in this indoor area, but it's an easy 60. Easy 60. I'm going to play for a bit. I don't want to actually miss this story because I actually am interested in this game. And we will come back when we're in a more outdoor area.
So this exercise
So now we are in some real gameplay here. I set it slightly higher, actually turned textures up to medium and terrain texture up to medium, and we're still getting 60. So we're balance scaling 4K, low preset, but then I have medium for textures and for terrain. And it did warn me about VRAM, but we have extra VRAM, it's fine. And yeah, it's not going to give us a solid 60, but it's very good. This is close to being 60. So, you're going to get 60-ish gameplay with these type of settings here. Now, I wouldn't turn it up. Not in a game like this. I'd prefer to be around 60 where possible. Let's see if I can go up here if this guy's going to be mad at me. Yeah, it's dropping a little bit, but it's not bad. You can always use more scaling. The little bit of scaling actually did make a big difference. There are not going to be a lot of games, modern AAA titles, where you're going to be playing 4K native when I'm talking AAA games, but with scaling, it will be decent, especially at 4K. With a 4K output, it's not that big of an issue, to be honest, especially once FSR4 hits these GPUs. Like you can see here now, we're way up, right? So I would personally throw it on performance scaling over balanced because it just gives you all that extra overhead. It just feels smoother, right? Your drops will be closer to 60 now rather than your drops being down to, wait, what? Enter the training grounds. Yeah, see, with performance scaling, it does give you a much better, cleaner ability to get to 60. So this is definitely where it's at, in my opinion. Stay on some batteries. This is training and I just bricked that guy in the head. That's funny. Yeah, so there we go. I just wanted to get to this outdoor area. So yeah, it's running really well. Let's try some lower resolutions though and see what we can get here. So we'll come down here. We'll go down to maybe something like that. Oh, it looks like VRAM does scale with resolution in this game. Some games it doesn't, actually. So that's nice. Now we can turn it up. So what we'll do here is we'll actually turn, let's try no scale that is. So that's 1440p medium. That's not bad, right? No scaling. It's not bad. Scaling does go really far on this GPU. So if you had just a little bit, now we're at 1440p. But look at that, that's a huge jump with just scaling. So going from 1440p native to just quality scaling is a huge increase in performance, right? And again, FSR 4 is coming to these GPUs. It'll take time. It'll come out at some point. They said June. I think they said June for 7000 series. So we'll see if that's true or not, if it's mobile or just the desktops. But yeah, we're getting there, right? All right, let's try one more. We'll just go down to 1080p. Okay, so 1080p. I think a lot of people will be using this on a 4K screen or a 1080p or a 1440p screen, to be honest. But let's see what like a native 1080p. Yeah, native 1080p is gonna be nothing, right? It's gonna fly. This GPU is kind of a monster at 1080p. It's gonna run very well. Yeah, it's going to run really well. Okay, so I'm just going to play for a bit. I don't want to spoil this game. Okay, now we'll do some Pragmata. Let's start with some 4K. Now, VRAM doesn't scale a huge amount in this game with resolution. It's more the presets. Yeah, so this is 4K native. Actually, it's running better than I thought. Running at 40 FPS 4K native is, I mean, it does kind of show you these GPUs are not bad. It's just, you're getting to the point where when you're at 4K, it's really a lot of pixels, a lot of demand on the system. And even in performance, I mean, it's just a lot of resolution. So, and it really shows you how things like, the Series S, the PlayStation, that kind of stuff, like how tough it is for them to push, 4K 60 type stuff. It is a lot, but we're at 4K 40 native. It's not bad. It's better than I thought. As a baseline, that's really not bad. There are games that are just locked to 30, right? Especially on the Series S and that kind of stuff, it's just a 30. Now I wouldn't play like this because it's not the best, but now this screen is terrible. It doesn't have any type of G-Sync, FreeSync, anything like that. It's a creator screen. But if you notice tearing, just ignore that. Okay, so that's actually a pretty good baseline. I really think that scaling is going to do the trick here. So we'll just throw in a little bit of scaling here. You can also use dynamic resolution, but I want to know what we're getting here. So let's see what balanced scaling gives us here. Yeah, so 4K with just balanced scaling. Performance, there's the whole setting below that. There's like the minimum setting. Performance is actually sort of like a low balance type thing. And it's giving us 60. And this is a demanding scene, like big draw distances here, lots of stuff going on. Right, it's pretty demanding here. And you can see the CPU is only at 11%. So again, this CPU is huge overkill. It's not going to be anything beneficial because it's not going to really matter. When you get the Steam machine, honestly, I don't suspect that CPU will have problems. Some games maybe if they're really CPU intensive, but I mean, this thing is not some single core monster either, so. The other thing is this CPU will run hotter as well, 84 degrees, but it'll give us a rough idea. Yeah, easy 60, it's not bad. So we'll go up to performance. I'm okay with performance at 4K. 1080p and 1440p, not so much. And again, this is just FSR 3.1. Once FSR 4 comes, it'll be look better, and so you'll be able to use more of it. That's essentially where it is. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so 4K, It's definitely doable. Again, this is performance scaling here, but we'll get into a little battle with this, or a big battle with this guy. I haven't played this in a couple weeks, so my controls might be a little wonky. I probably should have brought a better gun with me. Yeah, there are other guns you can get, and you should definitely bring them. I was just in a rush to come out. Okay, let's get into a battle and let's lower the resolution. So let's say if we go with, you know, if you don't have this hooked up to your television, if you have it, say, hooked up to a 1440p monitor or something like that, we'll go like that. So it's 1440p, and let's try native 1440p. I still expect it to be running pretty well at 1440p native. Yeah, look at that, see? Really to show you just how much resolution affects things, right? 4K is very hard to run. Very, very, very hard to run. Yeah, so I managed to beat him with a really crappy gun. There you go, there's a better gun. That's just a stasis net, but yeah, so 1440p good to go, right? Very good to go. There's no scaling. Let's see what we can do with like some high FPS gaming. So we can come in here, we can say, you know, throw in a little bit of scaling, just a little bit, right? Just quality scale, not that, quality scaling, just give it a little bit more boost, and we'll throw in some frame gen. Now that we're, you know, we're already at a base of 60 anyways, right? We were already at a base of 60. So, you know, throw in a little bit of frame gen. Actually, you don't even need scaling, to be honest. So 1440p native, but with a frame gen, right? Because we had a base of 60, now you're at, you know, 100 FPS with a native, assuming this was a 1440p screen, it'd be a native render, right? Good performance. And, you know, we were already at 60 FPS, 60 to 70 FPS anyway, so it's not a big deal to have frame gen on once you're at a high base frame rate. Get away from me, giant baby. What am I standing on? The car. Get back here. Why did it run? Okay, we'll do some RE Requiem. I really do need to get further in this game, but it's just the beginning is such a good test area. So we'll come in here. Now this game does scale VRAM with not really resolution. It really does scale it with settings. This is one of those games. Okay, so not great. But again, we are at 4K native on medium. It's just too much. It's just too much. You could do 30, but I'm not going to do that. So we'll just immediately jump right into some scaling here. Don't need to take too much time. Probably turn off screen space reflections. That would probably help, but we'll leave it on for now. It's a decent preset here. So let's go again, FSR 3.1. Eventually this will get FSR 4, and that'll make a big difference because you can use more of it. So that's just balance scaling. Okay, that's actually more than I thought. It's not giving us 60, but it's pretty close. Let's turn it up by, let's just play for a moment here before we turn it up. There's a lot going on here. That's why I'm picking this section here. Very demanding scene, and we're still getting pretty good. I mean, it's giving us almost 60, right? Not bad. Let's right, we're getting about 50 or so lock with all that chaos. Let's come in here. It's really hard to focus and talk on this game. We'll come in here and we'll just turn it a little bit more scaling. So we do have a decent amount of scaling, but again, we are at 4K. If we can, yeah, and I mean, it's getting us to 60. Is that? Yeah, it's pretty close to being just a 60. And again, I am okay with frame gen in some games, depends on the games, but I have to be at about 50 FPS or I won't use it. And I mean like a good FPS. Look at this guy running at the gun. Yeah, this is like a clean 60 now. Now we do have performance scaling, so it's actually rendering closer to 1080p medium, which that checks out. But it's not bad, honestly. And again, this is just FSR 3.1. So it was a joke that AMD took so long to put out FSR 4, but I think with all the pressure from Intel just putting out such incredible chips, and probably Valve getting involved, they've decided to finally release FSR 4, which will really help. And if the Steam Machine is popular, we'll probably see it in more games as well. Okay, we'll come down here. We can throw in a little bit of frame gen. Because we're at 60, I'm okay with it. And this is not a competitive shooter, so, I mean, and the latency is, it's not really going to matter at this base frame rate, put it that way, right? So now we're at almost 100 FPS. It's just going to feel and look smoother. And this isn't like a super fast switch shooter by any stretch of the imagination. It's still really hard to shoot them because they're moving like that. Like, look at that. That's good. This is what you're going to get on a TV, right? You're going to hook this thing up to your TV. I've been playing different games recently. All the controls are all messed up in my brain. Yeah, anyways, this is the type of experience that you'll get at, 4K on a TV, which is what Valve wants you to do. Let's come in here, though, and we'll just turn it down. There will be people who hook this up to a 1080p screen, I think, but 1440p is kind of becoming the most popular now. So let's go like that. We can really turn down the scaling now and frame gen, that kind of stuff. I think we'll be fine. So we'll go like that. We'll just turn it off. So this is just a 1440p native. I mean, it's not 1440p native on that kind of medium preset, and that's a 60. That's not bad at all. How would the zombie know where the bullet is coming from? Right? Even if you did that to a person, like with a brain, who wasn't a zombie, they would not know where the direction was coming from. Yeah, this is running really well, actually. Okay, let's just try a touch of scaling here. It just shows you that 4K jump from 1440p to 4K jump is a big jump. It's a big ask for TVs, right? Like, it's nice that TVs are 4K, but it really does, it is difficult for systems to run, right? At 4K. 1440p, a little bit of scaling, no frame gen, and look at that. Now we're at, high FPS gaming. Right? It's really not bad. And then now what if we suddenly throw on frame gen? Again, I'm the last person. Don't accuse me of being a frame gen guy. I'm the anti-frame gen guy. But I will respect the fact that once you get to a certain base frame rate, if you want to use it, it does actually become a decent experience. I only have one bullet for my Requiem. Oh, you can double hit them? Double tap, as they say in the gameage place? Pretty cool. I actually haven't seen this before. Green herb, get some healing, even though I don't need it. Yeah, so there you go. Running well. Very well. I didn't even try 1080p. It's going to fly. Okay, we'll do some Crimson Dessert. I've had issues with this game just looking bad on everything that I tested on, so I don't know. Maybe it's just like people really like this type of game, but I don't know, it just doesn't look good or run well on anything. And I have all kinds of systems, so I don't know. Let's just try 1080. Let's just try 4K low, I guess. Just get a baseline. I think this will run okay, but we'll see. Now I'm not very far, but I'm in a decent enough area that's all outdoors and stuff, so we'll see. Okay, Crimson Dessert. Look at that terrible performance. It's not a VRAM issue. It's just too much. So yeah, low 4K. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the game could be amazing. I've noticed I don't really like the controls in the game, to be honest. They feel weird, and the performance is not great compared to all the other competitors on the market, but we can use XeSS or FSR. XeSS, I think, runs weird in this game. At least it did last I tried it, but we'll come in here. So let's go performance. I think performance will run okay. We do really want that FSR 4, but even that's a little rough. But yeah, I don't know why people glaze these games so much. I mean, I think it's the type of game. People really like this type of game. But this is like lowest setting 4K with it like performance scaling. This is a little rough, to be honest. And you get all this shadow flickering, and like it doesn't matter what I test this on. NVIDIA, Intel, AMD resolutions, it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, watch. I just don't get it. Look at the shadows. Look at the shadows in the background. This is native 4K now. If you put the game up to a significantly higher setting, the shadows settle down. Like, why is this okay? That this game just has this level of performance and just has all these weird visual issues, right? Like, that's not okay. I'm sorry. It's just not okay. Not for me. Anyways, so it's going to run, like, the performance is okay. But what we can try here is, let's put it down to a low resolution. Let's try 1440p. We'll put on a little bit of scaling because it's going to need it, unfortunately. Maybe balanced. See what that can get us to that. And then we can turn up the settings, maybe. Yeah, that's pretty smooth now. So 1440p balanced scaling and low. The performance now is good. But that shadowy stuff is like crap. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but it's so ridiculous. Look at that. With or without scaling, AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, doesn't matter. It's just, it gets it all okay. Anyways, it's not a complaining video. Shouldn't turn into that. But I think if we turn up the settings, then that shadow crap tends to go away. Yeah, see? That's my experience. So you can't play this game on low because it's broken. Like, it's actually broken on low. I actually noticed that when I first started testing the B70. And then my video got picked up by a few different outlets, and they all kind of, it spread, then it got confirmed, you know, it's a low and medium type issue. Once you turn it up, that weird flickering goes. Of course, the performance goes down, but now it's fine. So 4K is going to kind of just be really rough in this game because you're going to have to turn the settings up, but then you're going to kill your performance. At 1440p, you're okay with, you know, a little bit of scaling, and you can turn it up to medium, and now all of a sudden you're close to 60, and it'll be playable around here, right? Like, this is pretty good. It's just 4K is going to be a little rough. So now that we're getting a decent setting, just be aware this game's going to be a little rough on 4K, but 1440p high, that's where we're starting to get, you know, some pretty good performance. We can turn up the scaling here. Hopefully when this game gets FSR 4, comes soon enough, because it'll look better, right? It just gets a little soft on FSR 3.1. There's like some shimmer, but that will be addressed in theory with FSR 4. All right, let's go back here. We're going to try one more thing. I think I can probably finish this one up. It runs fine. It's just you're really going to be limited at the 4K resolution, unfortunately. So we'll turn that back down, but we will turn on frame gen. So we have balanced scaling, but we do have frame gen on. And that was, you know, we were at 50, 55, so it should be okay. Yeah, that feels okay. The latency is not really relevant in a third-person game like this because, like, when you move, the character doesn't even animate right away, right? Like left, right. So I'm like, it doesn't matter that it's like, if there is no real latency anyways. But even if there was a tiny little bit, like a little bit, it wouldn't even matter because it's not a fast switch shooter. Like the character isn't, he's animated, so when he does things, like there's time for him to do stuff. You know, swinging a sword, whatever it is you're doing, there's time before he does it. So the game is actually going to run well, but you are going to have to put it up to high to get rid of that weird shimmer, which does make 4K a little rough. 1440p though is going to be just fine. Hopefully the developers address whatever that weird low resolution, low setting flicker, because that does cause problems with handhelds and that kind of stuff, unfortunately, which is where you're going to want to be using it, right? So there you go. Now we'll do a little bit of Final Fantasy Rebirth. This unfortunately doesn't even have FSR at all, so it's just the crappiest upscaler, but you can inject it into the files, so you may want to use that if possible. 4K high is going to be very difficult. So we're going to come in here, we're going to set up a custom. So we'll go medium, that can be low, character should be high, effect, doesn't really matter, texture, probably at least medium, and then these other things don't matter as much. And you can see there, we'll try native because unfortunately it doesn't have FSR like I said, but you can inject it into the game. Okay, it's a little rough. It might be a VRAM issue, maybe, but I think that's actually just a rendering issue. That's a tough scene too. It does look nice though on a 4K screen. I've been playing this a lot on handheld mainly. Yeah, I think it's just too much. It's just too demanding. So we'll come in here. We'll go with 66 and 50. That should be a huge jump in performance is my guess. Yeah, massive jump. Okay, so yeah, it's very playable at 4K, just not 4K native. You just need some scaling. Now, the other nice thing about this is if you play this on PC, like Windows PC, the DRM is so brutal in this game. You get horrible micro stutter, brutal micro stutter. That's one of the reasons I have Steam OS on like everything. Look at this, it's completely smooth, no stutter. If this was a Windows PC, and I'm not like, yeah, I use Windows all the time. I'm not like the guy who's gonna dunk on it. I'm not like, I use Arc, by the way. Like, that's not me. But when it comes to gaming, the DRM and all that crap in Windows is brutal in some games, like this one, where you get terrible lows. It almost makes the game unplayable. Just watch my benchmarks where I test games. Anytime I use Windows, it's just a nightmare for this game. And this is smooth as butter, right? The FPS we get are the FPS we get. Lows, I think I've seen it drop down to maybe 40 a few times. Like, I'm fine with 40 when the FPS is 80. That's a decent split. Look at the water there. It looks weird. And you can turn some of this stuff up, right? It's actually doing better than I thought. So now what we can do is we can go with probably a reasonably more gooder. So let's go like medium. Now we can turn some of this stuff up. So we'll put that back to 50 and 66 because it actually looks okay. Background model, I'm fine with medium. Water, that kind of stuff. I like high. Effects don't really matter, to be honest. Texture, turn it up. Shadow quality, turning that down should help. Turning that down should help. So this should be a pretty respectable mix here, and probably 60 or 70 or so. Oh, no, okay, I was totally wrong. Yeah, that's running really well, actually. Yeah, there. Okay, it is 60, yeah. 60 to 70. Looks like the lows are around 40 or so. It's not bad. All right, let's try, this is running very well. So yeah, you're gonna get like a console-like experience. You'll be fine, honestly. And you can actually play with the settings a little bit here. This is not bad. Honestly, very respectable. So now 1440p. Now just remember, I am also playing, like I said before, I am playing in windowed mode, or sorry, in desktop mode. The desktop mode is a little harder to run. You just get a little bit more resource use. It won't be a huge difference, but it's just easier for me to record and play with resolutions, that kind of stuff. When you're actually playing the games, like when I use this system, I don't do that. I just have it on its native game mode or whatever it's called. Yeah, so it's going to run just fine. Honestly, it runs really well. And SteamOS really is a boon in this game. Windows, it just does not work well. The DRM just causes horrible microstutter. I think it probably uses Denuvo based on what I've seen in terms of the performance, where the lows are just fucking horrendous in this game on Windows. And as soon as you throw it on a Steam OS, or I guess any Linux, it's going to just fly. I have Steam OS on all my handhelds and that kind of stuff, and this game is, the performance you get is the performance you get. Right? There's no low issues. It's just if you get 60, then you get 60. So yeah, very good. So yeah, I mean, I can test more games if you guys really want. If you have specific games, I don't own every game, but I do have a pretty big library in Steam. So if you want me to test the game, I'm happy to do so. I mean, we can see it here. The Steam machine, it's not the most powerful thing in the world. It is going to be expensive, and the price to performance ratio is not going to be the best, but it is going to be good. I mean, you're going to get good performance. It's going to be acceptable. And the biggest thing is, for most people, it's going to be easy, right? You take the system, you plug it in, and you play games. It is a console-like experience. So that's the biggest appeal. And that's why the Steam Deck, despite being extremely anemic hardware at this point, like almost borderline trash in 2026, it's still popular. And I still fully get why people buy the Steam Deck, because it's so simple to use, right? But I would highly recommend you get the Legion Go S instead with Steam OS. It's just twice as fast.